is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be? Me, your man, Louie Tee. Welcome to Lockdown Coverage, week number 6 in the National Football League. Green Bay Packers at home taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Huge matchup in the NFC Conference. Packers coming off of a win over the Giants, looking to make it 2 straight versus the NFC East. Meanwhile, Cowboys coming into this game riding a season-high 4-game winning streak and coming off of a dismantling of the Cincinnati Bengals. Clearly their hardest opponent to date. At least that's what was thought going into that ball game. Systematically took them apart. This was now going to be their test. And if they were able to find a way to get this done on the road, a lot of people would be buying Dallas Cowboys stock after this ball game. So we'll get to the breakdown of this ball game here in a second. But first, as always, gotta set the table. Gotta say grace. You know how this goes, man. Y'all bow y'all heads. Let's go ahead and say grace. And the way we do this on this particular program is by introducing and welcoming all of our guests here to the program. If this is your first time on the Louie Tee Network, welcome and subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content in 2016 and beyond. Also, I am on Twitter. In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle. If you happen to be watching this while on Twitter, go ahead. Don't be afraid. Use the hashtag LouieTeeLive to have your voice heard at the end of this breakdown. I will read your comment straight off of the presses if you use the hashtag LouieTeeLive. If you're watching on YouTube live in the chat discussion, be sure to use the hashtag LouieTeeLive. I will read your comment at the very end as well. Also, I'm on Facebook. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Go ahead, give me a thumbs up and a like. I'm just figuring out about this Facebook Live thing, so some exclusive content may be on Facebook sooner than you think. So go ahead, if you have not done it already, like me on Facebook in the Lab Room. All of my social media websites and platforms right up above, scrolling across the screen so you can't miss them. Like the page on Facebook in the Lab Room. Follow me on Twitter at In the Lab Room. Louie Tee Network on YouTube. Subscribe. That being said, amen. Hey, see how easy that was? Let's jump into this breakdown. Likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe. Dallas Cowboys, Green Bay Packers, 4-1 Cowboys looking to remain the leaders of the clubhouse in the NFC East. Meanwhile, the Green Bay Packers just looking to try to keep pace with the red-hot Minnesota Vikings, who are on bye in week number 6 at 5-0. We start with the likes in the first half, and you know how we like to do this. We start with the road teams in this game, and that's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. So we'll start with their first half likes, and there were plenty of them for the Dallas Cowboys in this game. Opening drive. Okay, Packers vaunted rush defense, the best in the league. Hadn't given up a 10-yard rusher until last week. Still hadn't given up a 20-yard rush in one particular play. Same with the 10-yard rush last week versus the Giants. Gave up 1 last week, their first of the season. They were dominant on the ground and had been this season, stopping the run. And so for the Cowboys to just come out, and I thought maybe first drive of the game, a little bit of nerves. Cowboys came out well-structured opening drive. Teams love to script those first 10 to 15 plays. Cowboys take it right down the field. And as they've done for the majority of this season, they get in the end zone on the opening possession of the game. The Cowboys have been extremely efficient on that opening drive of the game. They had some issues in the red zone early in the season, but they've overcome those. They've scored on probably, if I can recollect, they've scored on just about every opening possession this season. There may be one game in there that they didn't score, maybe the 49ers game, if I'm not mistaken. They were down 14-0 in that game. But outside of that Niners game, I think they scored on just about every opening possession. I know they scored against the Giants. I know they scored against the Redskins. I know they scored last week against Cincinnati, and I know they scored in this game. So they've done a magnificent job of scoring on the opening possession of ball games. No difference here. Cole Beasley getting in the end zone to start the party for the Cowboys as they take an early 7-0 lead. Thought that opening drive was impressive against a Packers defense that hadn't been giving it up on the ground, averaging 6 yards a carry on that opening drive with the Cowboys. Big start to the game. Stop on 3rd and 1. Okay, Packers have been running the football effectively with Eddie Lacy. He was nursing an ankle in this game, but yet he came out and gutted it out. Thought he had a magnificent performance for a guy on one leg. But it was a huge stop on 3rd and 1, forcing the Packers, who were looking to answer that Cowboys scoring drive with a touchdown of their own, forcing them to kick a field goal. Huge stop by the Cowboys defense there. Great 4th down play by Byron Jones. Randall Cobb's got a step, maybe a step and a half on him. If that ball's laid out a little bit more, don't know if Jones is able to make a play. But I tell you what, Byron Jones is one of the better covering safeties in this league. Remember, back at Connecticut, this guy was a cornerback. So you see the way that he covers. He does a great job, great ball skills, way to locate the football at the last second, knock it away. Love Byron Jones in coverage. Showed why he's one of the better covering safeties in this league. Knock away on 4th down, turnover on downs for the Green Bay Packers. End of the first half touchdown drive. This, to me, was the difference in the game. This is where the game was changed forever in this game. Cowboys just looking to try to get to halftime up 10-6. They're deep in their own territory at their own 3. This possession starts. They run it on 1st down. Green Bay calls a timeout. They run it on 2nd down. Green Bay calls another timeout. Cowboys don't have any timeout, so they're just looking to not give the Packers back the football with great field position. They run a jet sweep with Lucky Whitehead. Pops about a good 20-yard gain off of it. Then throw it down the sidelines to Terrence Williams. Another huge gain. The very next play, Bryce Butler beats one of the backup corners down the sidelines into the end zone. Beautiful throw. Even better catch to get both feet inbounds by Bryce Butler. It is now 17-6. And you go from a scenario where the Packers are looking to try to get the football in one last possession to the Cowboys saying, oh, you want to call timeouts before halftime? Oh, okay. I'm going to show your ass. Go right down the field. 97 yards in less than a minute. Cowboys 17-6 at the half. The game was never the same after that drive. That was big boy football at its finest right there. Packers, first half likes. Answer to the Cowboys touchdown, even though they didn't get a touchdown of their own. They moved it down the field. Got in the field goal range, wasn't able to convert on 3rd and 1, had to settle for a field goal, but they did answer and get some points there. J. Pep with the strip of Dak Prescott, recovered by Joe Thomas. Everyone thought it was the first interception thrown by Dak Prescott. It was not. It was a fumble recovered by Joe Thomas in the air. Takes away a scoring opportunity after the Cowboys had just forced a turnover of Aaron Rodgers to get some great, or Jordy Nelson, I should say, to get some great field position. They gave it right back. Packers make a huge play, force that turnover, get the ball back to the offense. Trevor Davis with an excellent punt return of 25 yards. Unfortunately, the offense just was out of sync, and we're going to give credit where credit is due there a little bit later on in this breakdown. Weren't able to take that huge return and great field position and spin it into any points. Wasted opportunity there, but a big play by the rookie out of Cal, Trevor Davis, with a 25-yard punt return. You see his speed and his playmaking ability on display on that particular play. You go to the dislikes in the first half, go back to the Cowboys. Thought the Cowboys made a bunch of mistakes in the first half. If not for some of these mistakes, Cowboys might be running away with this game in the first half. Dak Prescott with the fumble in the red zone. Talked about that. J. Pep stripping the football away. Joe Thomas coming away with the recovery. They were going to at least come away with the field goal there. The way they were moving the football in the first half of this game, no telling. They may have come away with a touchdown on that particular possession, but no points because of the turnover there. Sean Lee drops a pick six. Packard receiver has an opportunity to make a catch, bobbles it, kicks it up in the air. Sean Lee right there has it in his hands. I will give him a little bit of slack because the Packer receiver looked like he kicked his arm as he was looking to run away with the ball. He bobbles it and drops it. If he catches that cleanly, he's off to the races. He's got a convoy of Cowboys escorting him to the end zone. He would have scored. That would have been presidential because he would have had at least 4 or 5 Cowboys escorting him up the sidelines for a touchdown. Justin Durant with the face mask penalty on a 3rd down. Packers are going to have to punt. It's a great play by Durant. Even better coverage down the field as Aaron Rodgers had all day to throw this football. Durant comes literally off the pace, says, you know what, you've been back there too long. I'm going to stop this right now. Comes and gets Aaron Rodgers, but grabs his face mask, damn near takes his head off and the helmet off, gets a 15-yard penalty. It would lead to a Packers field goal. So an opportunity to get the football back to your offense is squandered because of the face mask penalty, leads to a Packers field goal. Dak Prescott with another fumble. This time it's recovered by the Cowboys, but he rolls out of the pocket. There's nothing but green grass and opportunity in front of him to pick up a nice chunk of yardage, get them even closer to a touchdown. He then bobbles and fumbles the football. It's recovered by the Cowboys. Cowboys get lucky there. They ultimately have to settle for a field goal. If he picks up that first down and changes the dynamic of that possession, they may even get in the end zone. Wasted timeouts. I told you I don't care about your first half timeouts and how you use them, but in this particular case, came back to backfire on the Cowboys. They call a timeout when they don't have any more in the first half, give the Packers a free 5 yards, and it could have come back to haunt them late in the first half if they were looking to get a touchdown, but Dak Prescott so aggressive, the play calling so aggressive, and Dak being so accurate with the football made having no timeouts a moot point as they're able to get in at the end of the first half. And the Mo Clay injury is something that I didn't like, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on the dislikes list. But Cowboys, Mo Claiborne dislike his injury. He's been your best corner by far this season. And friendly fire, looks like he ran into Sean Lee on a tackle attempt, on a breakup attempt of the football. Did not return. I'm assuming it's a concussion, and he's in the protocol. Hopefully he's not there long. Hopefully he's just fine because he's been playing some of the best football of his career. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. Let's go to the Green Bay Packers first half dislikes. Fumble on the second possession of the game by Jordy Nelson. The Packers struggled offensively in this game, and it wasn't just Aaron Rodgers. It was the skill guys. Jordy Nelson among them. He was shut down, very quiet on this evening, and had a huge fumble early in this game. Luckily enough for him, the defense was able to pick him up, force a turnover of Dak Prescott, and take away the opportunity that the Cowboys were presented with when they forced that turnover. But again, taking a possession away from this Packers offense that struggled, Jordy Nelson with that fumble. Failed fourth down conversion to Randall Cobb. The Packers get stuck on 3rd and 1 for the second time in the game. This time they decide we're going to throw it deep. They go down the field to Randall Cobb. And I want to say this wasn't a 4th and 1 situation, more like 4th and 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there. But in any event, kind of in no man's land. If they would have attempted a field goal, it would have been something like 55 yards or so. So they elect to go for it. Don't want to punt. It's not going to net you enough yardage to punt. Doesn't make sense. Don't want to kick the field goal, miss, and give the Cowboys great field position. So you go for it there. And Randall Cobb had a step on Byron Jones, just not put out far enough for him to get to the football without the defender being able to make a play on it. Great play, though, by Byron Jones. And also the late first half defense. You go from being in an advantageous situation and position to on your heels and giving up a touchdown at the end of the first half. Your punter does a great job of downing the football inside the 5-yard line at the 3. Okay, Packers have a great opportunity here to stop the Cowboys, use their timeouts, get the football back. They stop them on first down, they stop them on second down, give up a jet sweep on third down. Okay, so you allowed them to get out of the shadow of their own end zone, but you're not supposed to give them up a touchdown. Now, they may even get into field goal range. They may decide to be more aggressive because you used your timeouts, and now they feel like we got a little bit of breathing space. Let's take a shot. Your corner can't fall down there, and you can't give up a 40-some-odd yard pass to Terrence Williams, and then on the very next play, give up a 20-some-odd yard pass or 30-some-odd yard pass to Bryce Butler for a touchdown, and bing, bang, boom, in 5 plays, give up a touchdown when you had the Cowboys stuck on their own 3-yard line. That can't happen. It shouldn't happen, but it did. Cowboys take a 17-6 lead. To me, the game was never the same after that. Poor defense late in the first half by this banged up Packers defense. Also, your final dislike, your injury to your cornerback. He just came back with a groin injury that he was nursing. Finally hits the lineup again, and just like that, he's gone yet again. So that's part of the reason why you had Gunter and all these other guys out there, that Goodson, who had no business being out on the field yet, because of the injury, you just had to go back into that cornerback depth, and those guys were exposed in this game. Demarius Randall leaving with what I believe is a re-aggravated groin injury that hurt the Green Bay Packers on that final possession of the first half. Let's go back to the likes. We go to the Cowboys. Barry Church with an interception leads to a field goal. The second pick of Aaron Rodgers. Or no, that was his one and only pick of the day, but it was a big one. Packers are moving the football. They're starting to look like they're gaining a little bit of confidence offensively. And this is an inexcusable throw by Aaron Rodgers. Great play by Barry Church. I think he read what was going on, read the route combination. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers expected him to do what he did and be where he was. Great play by Barry Church, who I think is having an outstanding season for this Cowboys defense thus far. David Irving, who had arguably the best game of his career, forces a fumble of A-Rod inside the 5-yard line, strips him of the football on a quarterback draw, then has the presence of mind to go after it and recover it too. So it's a double whammy there that David Irving was able to perform. Strip, sack, forced fumble, and recovery of the football. Big play to change the tide of this game when it seemed like the Packers might be going in for points. He had another strip of the football later in the game that would put this game officially on ice. David Irving with his best performance as a pro in this game. Let's talk about this Cowboys defense. They're the next like. Then you have Dak Prescott as a like, and then you got Ezekiel Elliott. Now package the last two together, but let's talk about this defense first because they're next on the list. We talk so much about Dak Prescott, so much about Ezekiel Elliott, so much about this offensive line. Everything that we talk about with the Cowboys is on the offensive side of football. We don't give any credit to this defense because we don't believe that this defense is legit. And I still got my questions and my doubts, but this was an impressive performance, as impressive as I've seen against the Packers since they got destroyed and dismantled last year for their first loss of the season versus the Denver Broncos. Aaron Rodgers had all day to throw the football, much like he did against Denver last year when they just said, we're not going to allow him to escape the pocket. We're going to mush rush, and we're going to make him stay in the pocket and make some decisions. Aaron Rodgers seems like he's losing some confidence. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but credit this Cowboys defense. The coverage down the field was outstanding. Guys couldn't get open, and they didn't allow Aaron Rodgers to hurt them with his legs. They were outstanding in this game. Eddie Lacy, I thought, ran the ball effectively, but the run defense never really got gashed. They gave up some small chunk plays, but they didn't give up the 30-yard runs and the 40-yard runs and explosive rushing plays. This defense, they're not great. They don't have any household names, anybody that scares you on that side of the football, but they're playing collectively as a unit, and they're playing well. And this was by far their best performance of the season. Give some credit to them in this game. They dominated one of the better football teams in the league, in their building, and made them look anything but the NFL's best. So this was a dominant performance by this Dallas Cowboys defense. Give them some credit. We always try to overlook their performances. Maybe it's time to stop overlooking that defense and start giving them some credit. You look at the Cowboys rookie backfield, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, another strong performance by those guys. My goodness. You keep waiting for them to have a hiccup. You keep waiting for them to make a bunch of mistakes. Dak did fumble twice, lose one, and threw his first interception of his career in this game, but he still was outstanding in this game. He still made all of the throws. He still put the Cowboys in a position to put this game away before the Packers could make some noise and make it close. So Ezekiel Elliott, fourth straight game of 130 yards rushing plus. This guy's been outstanding. The only criticism I have of the Cowboys is you're up by 2 touchdowns late in this game. He's already got 25 carries north of 24. Why is he carrying? Put Alfred Morris in the goddamn game. Don't run this guy into the ground. I know he's a young pup. And so you figure like, hey, look, man, this guy's got fresh legs. He's a young man. He should be able to take it. But he's getting the football damn near 30 times every game. If you can find a way, and last week you were able to do that with the 15-carry game. But if you're able to take a couple carries off the top at the end when you've already got the game in the back, that's what Alfred Morris is for. Put him in the game. Let him run a couple of times. Save some of the mileage on Ezekiel Elliott. He doesn't need to be taking hits when the other team knows you're running at the end of the game. He doesn't need to be taking hits. When the other team is stacking the box and looking to stop the run, let Alfred Morris do that. And so other than that, man, Cowboys lit it up in the second half, put this game away. You look at the Green Bay Packers second half likes. Eddie Lacy, I thought he gutted it out on one leg and probably was their best performer outside of Ty Montgomery. This guy was playing football, and you kept saying to yourself, there's no way he's going to finish this game, yet Eddie kept coming back. He was leaping guys. He leaped at least 4. I think I counted 4 guys and picked up extra yardage. He gave them everything he had on one leg. Thought he was by far their best performer offensively outside of Ty Montgomery. So give some credit to Eddie Lacy, man. Ty Montgomery, yeah, this was one of his better performances of his career. 11 catches, almost 100 yards receiving. Also had a couple carries out of the backfield due to the injury to James Starks. So I thought he was impactful in this game, did some nice things. And he also had a nice kickoff return as well. So Ty Montgomery, I think he's a guy that you got to get more involved in this offense. And I think you're starting to see that from this game. Morgan Burnett with the interception. Big play at the time. Cowboys had just gotten a stop, gotten the football, and after a big turnover by Aaron Rodgers in the inside the 5-yard line, looks like the Packers are going in for points, and he fumbles the football. Morgan Burnett able to pick him up by getting the interception, giving the Packers back great field position. Aaron Rodgers misses a wide open Randall Cobb. Thought it was offsides, didn't get the flag. I don't understand how that didn't come to be, but no doubt, big play by Morgan Burnett at the time. Packers ultimately had to settle for a field goal. You go to the dislikes in the second half. Bryce Butler with a drop of a football down the field. Dallas Cowboys backed up deep in their own end. They take a shot, and they were being ultra aggressive with Dak Prescott because they trust him. This goes to show you how much they trust him with his back up against the goal line. They sling it 40 yards down the field, and this was a perfectly thrown football. Bryce Butler not able to hold on. Big drop there. And the very next play, Dak Prescott throws an interception. So it's amazing how this game goes, ebbs and flows. You make a mistake like a drop by Bryce Butler. The very next play, Dak Prescott throws his first career interception after an NFL record-setting 177 consecutive passing attempts without an interception thrown. He finally throws his first one. And if you get the completion to Bryce Butler, that interception never happens. So those are the types of things that happen in this league. You miss an opportunity, and then you create an opportunity for the opposition the very next snap. You go in their dislikes in the second half of this game. A-Rod throws a horrible interception to Barry Church. A-Rod fumbles inside the 5-yard line. And then Devontae Adams' injury. I think he left the game with a concussion. A couple of Packers getting banged up, some pivotal ones at that. And Demarius Randall and now Devontae Adams, who left the game after catching a slant and getting hit by Sean Lee and having to leave the game. The reason I ran through the two Aaron Rodgers turnovers so quickly is because the final dislike kind of encapsulates all of those. And it's Aaron Rodgers. He was horrible in this game. And you look at his numbers and you say, that's not that bad. 31 of 42, 2 and some change, 1 touch, 1 pick. You can get away with that. Most quarterbacks that are human, that's a really good day. It's a solid day. Solid day at the office. Not for Aaron Rodgers, it's not. And if you watch the game in the context of which that 31 or 42 came, you're not impressed. As a matter of fact, you're dismayed at what you saw. Missed a lot of open receivers. Richard Rodgers wide open on a dig route as the Packers are looking to try to go get a touchdown. Throws the football egregiously behind him. Misses. You've got a situation where you've got an open Randall Cobb in the back of the end zone. Misses him for a touchdown. That's not Aaron Rodgers. That's not the guy we've come to know and love. He struggled mightily in this game. Missed a lot of open targets. We're not used to seeing him do that. And this was a very disappointing effort. Throws a pick right to Barry Church as if he never saw Barry Church on that particular play. Really don't know what he was looking at there. Fumbles the football in the red zone, running on a quarterback draw. Got to put the football away. Had another fumble late in the ball game where he could have run. He had ample opportunities in this game to use his legs. Chose not to. Instead, forcing footballs in tight areas where guys weren't open, or taking sacks, or throwing the football away. Just not the Aaron Rodgers we're accustomed to seeing. And what this speaks volumes to is a lack of confidence. Even the greatest can suffer from lack of confidence. It happens to the best of them. We saw this with Brady 2 years back, the year they went to the Super Bowl, when they got destroyed on Monday night by the Kansas City Chiefs in that season. And everybody thought this was it. This was the demise of Brady and Belichick as we have come to know and love. And that was a lack of confidence. The offensive line was bad in front of Brady at that time. He was struggling. The offensive line was struggling. He lost confidence temporarily. Same thing we're seeing with Aaron Rodgers. This offensive line is blocking their ass off, but the guys aren't winning one-on-one matchups. They're not making plays for him, and he's not making plays either. And because of that, he's starting to doubt himself. Some throws that you see him making his sleep with his eyes closed, he's missing. There are opportunities for him to run. When have you known Aaron Rodgers to have all of that time and space and not decide I'm going to tuck it and run for 15, 12, 8 and get to the next play? He's just not doing the things we've come accustomed to. Give the Cowboys defense some credit. They made a lot of these plays, but there were ample opportunities for Aaron Rodgers to use his legs to create, and he refused to do so, stayed in the pocket, took a sack, fumbling the football, missing open receivers, throwing an interception. These are all plays that are un-A-Rod-like. Right now, he's playing like Aaron Rodgers and less like A-Rod, a.k.a. AR-12. He looks like a guy that is suffering from a lack of confidence. And if it doesn't come back soon enough, because the Packers, if you notice, they're running the football a lot more than you're accustomed to seeing. And it's because of the lack of confidence in Aaron Rodgers right now to distribute the football amongst his playmakers. Again, give credit to the Cowboys, but this is a much bigger issue than the Dallas Cowboys. He hasn't looked right for the majority of the season. Outside of one half of football versus the Detroit Lions, Aaron Rodgers has not looked like the guy we've come accustomed to seeing for the Green Bay Packers. That being said, the banana in the tailpipe for me is not believing in the Cowboys. I am officially a believer now. I am done with doubting this team. I said that if they did win this game, that I was done doubting the Cowboys. I'm done. I'm finished. These guys are legit. And if they bench Dak Prescott, they are stupid as hell. The decision for me has been made. He went into Lambeau Field, outplayed Aaron Rodgers, led his team to a convincing and dominating win. NFC East, if you watch this game, you should be afraid. Be very, very afraid. I left this game saying, oh shit, the Cowboys are for real. I'm nervous. I don't know about y'all. Now, we got one more game with their ass, and we're going to get them. We owe them on Thanksgiving. But damn it, they're good. And they're not giving this division away. In order for somebody to win this division, they're going to have to take this division away from the Cowboys. So it's going to be interesting when they really get knee-deep into their divisional schedule because they've played 2 games. They're 1-1 in the division. It's going to be interesting coming off the bye, how they fare against the Eagles. Eagles play very well against them. Cowboys play very well against the Eagles. It'll be interesting to see how that game goes. But, man, the Cowboys are legit. They are legit, and the defense is better than people are giving them credit for. Look out. Here come the Dallas Cowboys. Banana in the tailpipe for the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers not just going through a little malaise or a little phase. He'll be fine. No, I'm not buying that banana in the tailpipe anymore. This is serious. I looked at A-Rod in his eyes. I said, you good? A-Rod, hey, A-Rod, you good? He didn't answer me. You know why? He's not A-Rod right now. He's Aaron Rodgers. I don't know this dude. Who are you? He looked at me with the blankest stare. He said, I don't know who I am right now, man. I said, you can't say that, Aaron. You can't say that. You're A-Rod. You're one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. He didn't respond. I'm worried. I'm nervous. This isn't the end. I'm just nervous for them right now. The Vikings aren't playing around, man. They're not. You want them to run away with this division? Let his ass keep sleepwalking through the season. They'll run right away with this division. This division will be gone by week 12. They'll be playing for nothing. They'll be playing for a potential perfect season in week 12 if Aaron Rodgers doesn't get his act together. Because now you're down 2 games, and you really should say 3 because they already beat you. That week 17 game in Lambeau against the Vikings won't mean a damn thing to the Vikings if you keep this up. I expect Aaron Rodgers at some point to get it together, but I'm not as sure as I once was. Oh, it's Aaron Rodgers, it's Jordy Nelson, they'll figure it out. Bull-ish. I'm not sure. I'm not falling for that banana in the tailpipe. I fell for it before. Not falling for it again. They got to wake the hell up, and it starts with Aaron Rodgers. All right, let's take some of your comments, see what you guys have to say as to what happened in this ball game. See what you guys have to say. Abraham Lopez says, Packers are overrated. They are an average team. They may be overrated. And they may even be average. I'm not willing to go on record as saying that right now. I'm gonna take the Aaron Rodgers approach, RELAX. But I'm telling you right now, that was not pretty. That was a dominant performance by one team and a piss poor, lackluster 4-turnover performance by the other. You figure out which one is which. Jonathan Vasquez says, I always was confident Dallas was going to win this game versus the Packers, and Rodgers has been playing bad, especially Rodgers is a shell of the MVP he once was. He definitely looked like that in this game. He looked like a shell of himself for sure. DG Production says, just lost to the Seahawks 24-26. Just why? Well, couldn't have asked for much more besides a win. Go Falcons, LOL. Abraham Lopez says, Sherman, dirty-ass cornerback, overrated as well. He got away with one at the end of that Falcons game for sure. Captain Spartan 04 says, I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers has yet to win a game. The Packers honor Brett Favre. Just saying, last year they honored him at halftime of the Thanksgiving game versus the Chicago Bears, and that was an ugly game, and they had no business losing to the Bears, and they lost that game. I'm just saying. We on the same page, Captain Spartan. You've been on it this week, man. You've been hot. You need to cool your damn fingers off. You hot right now, Cap. You hot. Hirsch Patel. Every time a defense claims to be one of the best at defending the run, the Cowboys seem to run more instead of shying away. I like that. The Cowboys, look, I told you they got the best. And I had Redskins fans get mad at me for saying, stop saying that the Cowboys have a dominating offensive line. What you want me to do, lie? You know how these lips only know how to speak the truth, man. That's all I know how to do. I told you, if you put a dominant back, and that's why I said last December on record out in D.C. on a TV program, if you put Ezekiel Elliott behind that line, I said if you're the Dallas Cowboys and you got a top 5 pick, go back and check the archives. How can you not draft this man? It just makes too much sense. He immediately makes this team 1,000% better. Behind that line, it's almost cheating. You're seeing it firsthand. This man he's on pace for 2,000 yards rushing right now. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Let's see what we got. Sean McKenzie says, I see you and hear you now. LOL. Yeah. Sean Mack says, I picked the Cowboys as one of my very few wins this week. LOL. I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid yet, man. I am officially drunk. I staggered onto the camera right now to do this video. I staggered over here. I was drunk off the Cowboys juice, man. I'm officially inebriated off of Cowboys juice, man. They legit. Devontae Thompson says, can you see anyone stopping the Cowboys run game? I sure can. You got the Vikings later on in the season, but I'm going to tell you this much. It's going to come at a cost. If you want to stop this Cowboys rush offense, it's going to come at a cost. If you got to divulge extra defenders to the box, you're giving one-on-one to Cole Beasley, Dez Bryant, Terrence Williams, Jason Witten. Somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to win one-on-one, so it's going to be tough. Sean Mack says, I'm officially buying into Cowboys stock right now. In my opinion, they need to stay with Dak Prescott for now. The future is now for Dallas. Couldn't agree with you more. Captain Spartan 04 says, Aaron Rodgers needs a new young number 1 wide receiver to make him look good. I don't even know if that is what it is or what, but they're just struggling right now. Maybe they do need some fresh blood out there. They got a ton of receivers, though. I mean, they got too many receivers, as a matter of fact, on that roster. Sean Mack says, Dallas versus Washington on Thanksgiving. Now, that's a game, bro. We got a long way before we get there, but I'm going to tell you what, man, that's going to be a showdown. If we keep playing the way we playing and they keep playing the way they playing, that game's not only going to be a hell of a game, it's going to be for first place in the NFC East. And I wouldn't ask it to be any other way. Old school, good old-fashioned, passionate ass-whooping NFC East style. Somebody going down hard with an L on Thanksgiving is going to make your stomach upset full of Thanksgiving food. I can't wait. Bart Scott, can't wait. Sean Mack says, bullish. I'm going to start using that, bro. Clean up my Navy mouth. Yeah, man, I'm trying to myself, man. It's hard. But you gotta sometimes substitute in there, man. Sometimes you got to substitute, man. All right, so that's going to do it for this game, man. Dallas Cowboys, ultra impressive 30-16 win on the road in Lambeau. Go to 5-1. Keep sole possession of first place with the win at 5-1. Head into their bye week flying high. Now the questions are going to begin. Do you bring in Tony Romo, or does Dak Prescott remain your quarterback coming off the bye, taking on the Philadelphia Eagles? They've got a whole week to allow that to marinate. Then next week, the questions will come in drones. They'll figure it out. I think we all know the answer. You can't take the hot hand out of the lineup, not with this team playing as well as they are. You got to stick with the guy that got you the 5-1 start. Meanwhile, the Packers, you're searching for answers here. You're 5 weeks through your schedule this season at 3-2. You've already had your bye week. You got a ton of injuries. But the biggest problem is the way this offense looks. This offense looks lost. They look like a team that's lacking confidence on that side of the football. And most importantly, Aaron Rodgers doesn't look like himself. That's a problem that needs to be rectified as soon as possible. That's going to do it for your man, Louie T. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on Lockdown Coverage. I will see you guys next time. I got Sunday Night Football overtime coming your way. Texans hosting the Indianapolis Colts. AFC South family business. If those two teams said they ain't did it, then they ain't did it. But if they did, well, that's family business. I'll see you after that game. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. I'll see you after tonight's Sunday Night Football showdown. See you then.